AI can already do a better job at finding potential cancer.
1 billion times smarter than us by 2045.
ChatGPT 4 knows more than any human on planet Earth.
I fired my lawyer. Like, I asked ChatGPT, like, my lawyer costs $600 every time I pick up the phone. So he gave me a very similar answer than the ChatGPT. I'm like, that's a phone call I'm never gonna have to make again.
Eventually, you and I will have our own AI assistant, which is a polymath, which is incredibly smart, which helps us guide through the information overload that it is today. Who's going to build it? What kind of hardware will it be on? How fast will the networks be?
It is the single greatest innovation of humanity ever.
An Oppenheimer moment.
An Oppenheimer moment for sure. Why did you bring that up?
For centuries, human civilization has been built on one simple truth. Knowledge is power, and its scarcity creates value. This scarcity created what economists call information asymmetry, a situation where one party has more or better information than the other. We built entire systems around the idea that expertise is rare, difficult to acquire, and therefore valuable. When you hire a lawyer, you're not just paying for their time spent writing documents or appearing in court. You're paying for their accumulated knowledge of thousands of cases, their understanding of complex legal precedents, and their ability to navigate a system that was intentionally designed to be too complex for laypeople to understand. The same is the case for doctors who spend over a decade accumulating knowledge that you have no way to access or verify. They're selling you access to a knowledge base that took years to acquire and that you, the patient, have no practical way to replicate. Law school takes 3 years. Medical residency can take even longer. Want to become a certified public accountant? That's years of study and multiple rigorous exams. When you're the only one who knows something vital, you can charge whatever you want for that knowledge. But here's where everything changes. We're entering an era where knowledge, for the first time in human history, is becoming abundant rather than scarce. Large language models and artificial intelligence are turning centuries of accumulated human expertise into an instantly accessible commodity.
How disruptive do you think AI is going to be?
How do I put this? It is the single greatest innovation of humanity ever. The only thing that comes close is probably the splitting of the atom. This is so big. Everything we've talked about is based on scarcity of knowledge. Why do lawyers get paid a lot? Scarcity of knowledge. Either scarcity of knowledge, scarcity of capital, those two things. What you've created is infinite knowledge. Right? Knowledge is now worth zero. Not people that can't see it yet, but it's going to be worth zero. This is like water. But this is happening really fast. It's going to break the entire economic model for good and for bad. It's going to change our understanding of how society functions, what humans do. It's going to change our understanding of what humans are and will be. Because you can either have the choice, and society will take the two paths. You either merge with the machines or you reject the machines.
The knowledge itself will be essentially free, available instantly through AI interfaces.
It's 1 billion times smarter than us by 2045.
I mean, they're already, smarter than 99.99% of the population.
100%. Yeah.
ChatGPT 4 knows more than any human on planet Earth. Knows more information.
Absolutely. 1,000 times more. 1,000 times more. By the way, the code of a transformer, the T in a GPT, is 2,000 lines long. It's not very complex.
But this leads us to the most crucial part of the story. Who will control and deliver this commoditized knowledge? This is where software engineers and technology companies enter the picture. The future of expertise isn't about knowing things. It's about building and controlling the systems that know things.
AI can already, in many cases, do a better job at finding potential cancer in medical imaging. If I am to fast forward 5 to 10 years, we will need more radiologists than we have now, because we will need more medical imaging than we do now. However, I think all of those radiologists will be empowered by AI tools on the scanning side, on the clinical diagnostic side, on the explaining reports to consumers, and so on.
Consider the technological stack that's emerging at the bottom. You have specialized hardware, primarily NVIDIA's chips, designed specifically for running complex AI models. On top of that, you have foundation models, massive AI systems trained on vast amounts of human knowledge. And finally, you have the software layer, the applications and interfaces that make this knowledge accessible and useful to everyday people. The people who build and control this stack, primarily software engineers and technology companies, will be the new power brokers of the knowledge economy.
I fired my lawyer. Like, I asked ChatGPT, like, my lawyer costs $600 every time I pick up the phone. And I was like, as a test, like, here's the questions. And, you know, I always got to do 10 minutes of small talk. I'm like, that's $100 right there. Right. You know, I'm like, I don't care about your kids, dude. Just tell me what I want to know. So he gave me a very similar answer than the ChatGPT. I'm like, that's a phone call I'm never going to have to make again.
Wow.
Boom, done.
The software engineers who will run the world aren't just coders. They're the architects of a new knowledge distribution system.
How many companies will there be in AI? Will there be 5 or 5,000 or 50,000? How many big companies will there be? Will there be new companies? What will they do? Right? So I just told you my view is that eventually you and I will have our own AI assistant, which is a polymath, which is incredibly smart, which helps us guide through the information overload that it is today. Who's going to build it? Make a prediction. What kind of hardware will it be on? Make a prediction. How fast will the networks be? Make a prediction. Write all these things down and then have a discussion about what to do. What is interesting about our industry is that when something like the PC comes along or the internet, and I lived through all of these things, they are such broad phenomena that they really do create a whole new lake, a whole new ocean, whatever metaphor you want.
The rise of software-driven knowledge delivery means a new kind of professional class, one that derives its value not from what it knows, but from how effectively it can help others access and use knowledge. We're not just changing how expertise works, we're changing what it means to be an expert. And in this new world, the most valuable skill won't be knowing things. It will be knowing how to make knowledge work for you. Some will call this progress. Others will call it disruption. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what we call it. It's coming anyway.